In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight, and sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Kraus. Cash, how are you today?
Surviving. You know how I'm doing.
Thriving?
Surviving.
That's going to be our
We're
new
trying
word.
to TM that.
We are trying to TM that. Unfortunately, already been TM'd. Looked into it. It is a Kevin Hart. Thriving is a Kevin Hart.
Oh my
TM
God. Well, what is it? What,
trademark.
he just trademarked everything? That fucking guy.
When you have $40 trillion in the bank, with how hard that guy works.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of stand-up specials. So what,
Yes.
he's just going to trademark everything this guy's ever fucking said now?
He's like, Hart, it's now trademarked. Like, what? We can't use Hart anymore?
Yeah, but I respect the hustle.
I do.
I
respect it.
I respect a man who says something and then
nonstop.
immediately goes
Trademarks it.
just to
That's
make
called-
sure it's probably never going to take off.
No, of course.
Probably never, ever going to be used by another human again.
Never.
But if there's a cent to be fucking made off of it,
Yeah, that is called superior
business.
confidence.
He's a businessman.
Yes, it is.
but yeah, that's unfortunate
Yeah,
because that was very organic.
it was organic.
But yeah, we're here. Always a good day to be back reviewing film and reviewing some of our favorite horror genre of film is horror. So we are reviewing this one borderlines horror.
It does.
It is a romantic film. It's genred as a romantic monster film.
Yeah,
And that is
which threw me for a little bit of a loop because, like, the poster of this, just kind of just seeing the genre, and it is classified as a horror genre.
Yes.
So, like, for me going into it, I was expecting it to be real creepy, especially in the opening scene, you know? Like
Yeah.
with the house, but we'll jump into that later. Go ahead.
Well, what we are watching today reviewing today is After Midnight. It is a 2019 film that was released in 2020. So it was released February 14th. So technically,
That's a great Valentine's Day movie to go
I didn't
to.
think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is by far one of the best movies to come out in February.
Oh,
I would have to say.
absolutely, yeah.
Although, you know what? It did come out right when Invisible Man came out. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is a
Because
tough
Invisible Man was very good.
It was.
That was a February surprise
Yes.
for sure.
Not the only surprise. And
Yeah.
then we
Well,
got
then
the
Corona.
biggest
That was a
surprise
pretty
in
big
March.
surprise.
Yeah, which was coronavirus.
But yeah, we are watching After Midnight. It is a very small indie horror film directed by Jeremy Gardner,
And
written by
starring.
Jeremy Gardner, starring, which is so funny because we just did Hellraiser,
We did.
which was written, directed, not starred though. Clive Barker did not have but two indie horror films. But yeah, this one sits at a beautiful 83 minutes runtime.
Does. And
if
it's perfect. It knows exactly how long it should be.
If you don't have money and you're an indie film and you're not really sure, the worst thing you can do is have your movie go long.
Yes.
The fucking worst thing you could do. And that's the same thing with Hellraiser is an hour 30.
Yeah.
Which is perfect, especially when you're on a budget and you literally can't afford to shoot any more days.
Anymore. You know, and honestly, like, at the end of this film, like, I was left wanting more.
Yeah.
I got to be honest.
Well, I love the endings. One of my favorite endings.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that later. But there was like 6 or 7 minutes left in this movie, and I'm like, what? I guessed
what
it
happens
right.
after?
I guessed it right. You know, because it was the earring shot at the end. But I was like, man, how are they going to wrap this up in 6 and 7 minutes?
It's not what
And
you expect.
No, but it's perfect.
It is perfect. I agree. It is perfect.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this film. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, so did I.
And I'm not a big romance guy. We know that's, if anyone listens to the podcast or watches, they know we're not.
Right.
But I love this kind of romance film. Like, what was the film we did? The Indian film where it was a romance, but they're eating people.
Oh, A Miss.
A Miss, yeah.
Yes.
That's if I'm gonna see a romantic film, I want a romantic horror film.
Yes.
That's the only way you're gonna keep me in this. But this film is very much romance driven.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It is a romance that just happens to be set in kind of a monster universe.
Yeah.
But the entire time, something I love about it, the entire time you're not sure, because I'll go over the premise is simple. This guy and gal move into this house together that's been in his family, and it's in Georgia or some southern state. Florida.
Yep.
Which is great. I love, if you're going to have a film set in the States, I think South is the best, because it's our kind of like, it's our moors.
Right.
You know, stay out of the moors
Yeah.
from it. It's kind of forbidden, you know, the Everglades. It's very dangerous. Not a lot of people go.
And there's a lot of open land there too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like
parts of Florida.
mystery and stories and shit from Native Americans, stuff like that. So and that's why it works so well. But I love the setting. But yeah, it's this two couple. They moved into this house. They have kind of relationship problems
Over the 10-year span.
Yeah, and one day the guy, Jeremy Garner, wakes up and he finds that his other half, they're not married, they're just
not.
dating.
Yep.
They should have been married.
Well, I mean, 10 years.
That's a
10
big
years.
a big part of the story.
It's
yeah.
a huge part of the story.
But yeah, she's gone, and then every night after she's gone, something attacks this guy's house, and he doesn't know.
And he puts his couch in front of the door.
Yes.
And his TV in front of the other door.
Yes.
It's and that's something they did well, is like they would show the romance side of things and they would do the flashbacks. Really, I thought this film, as
a
far
ton
as
of
like the
flashbacks, but
editing-
very good. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm against. I know exactly where you're, but you in this film you had to establish how good their relationship was, so you had to constantly show it. And through flashback, it showed the history of the relationship. It showed it going from really good to really sour
Right.
after somebody. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, the editing though I thought was really well done, going back and
it's
forth.
probably edited by Jeremy Gardner, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the guy did everything.
So weird, he doesn't even have a
Shoestring
Wikipedia
budget.
page.
I know, because I thought
And
this guy
his
was extremely talented.
It's his second film. He directed a film in 2012 as well. Another horror film that I've never seen called Battery, but I've never seen
yeah,
it.
The Battery. Yeah,
But yeah, he's a pretty decent actor as well. I think
so.
Bree Grant, who's kind of a more established actor, did a little bit better than him. She's really fucking good.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Plays Abby in this. She's fantastic. But the entire time, especially the first time I watch this, you're kind of questioning if this monster is real and maybe if it's just a metaphor for the turmoil in the
Absolutely.
relationship.
Yeah.
That's why I love the ending so much, because it's concrete.
It
And
is.
it's like, no, it's not in this guy's fucking head. This is a legit fucking...
Monster.
There's a romantic riff going on here, but there's an actual fucking man-eating monster going on, and that's what I love. But yeah, I love all the romantic elements. One of the best scenes is when Bria finally comes back, and they're just sitting in the front because she's like, if it's gonna come back, shoot it.
That's
You're a
what
hunter.
that's what I want to talk about. That was the highlight.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with
the
a
film.
monster.
Well, I'll tell you why too. That scene, and I didn't time it, but was like 7 to 9 minutes
Pretty long.
straight.
Pretty long.
And I'm telling you, those actors had to memorize that entire dialogue and perform it.
But
there's so much dialogue there and so many different ranges of emotion for both of
Yeah.
these two actors.
It
to be
makes
able
me
to pull
feel
that,
that
off
it's
was awesome.
It was some of it had to have been improv.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
some of it, I think it's
Yeah.
just sitting a camera there and just like we know the beats we want to go through because
Mm-hmm.
because how they respond to each other is just so
It's
organic and real.
Right.
With and then like talking about the wine and like
Mm-hmm.
Miami and shit like that, it feels like these people have been together for 10 years, and now it's
And that
starting to
goes to
start
the-
because that guy can't commit to anything.
And if it's not improv, that goes to the script writing and the dialogue from Jeremy Garner.
Yeah, well, I have to think. Well, the script writing is great anyways, because the script writing gets you to the improv anyways. But it's, it's great. It's great writing regardless.
Yeah.
That is one of the greatest scenes in the film, I think. And it's so simple.
Yeah, it is.
But that's what you get with indie films. It sounds pretentious to say, but I just prefer an indie film over a blockbuster film, because the fact that they have so much less to like
To work
rely
with.
on.
Yeah.
They know that they have to milk every scene for everything it's worth, and it comes off
When
so
you
much
can't-
better.
in indie
Blockbusters
films-
have their place.
Yeah,
but
they do. But in indie films, I mean, you can't get away with cheap dialogue. You can't get away with all these to compensate like a blockbuster does with these massive effects, with these incredible action scenes. Like with an indie film, like your dialogue has to be great. Your
Yep.
characters have to be loved or hated. You know,
Yeah.
like they're those. It's those things that really count.
The scenes, it can't just be a simple shot scene. It has to have some kind of cinematography element to it, you know, because you're not compensating with, like you said, big effects or anything. So every scene, has to be about. This film reminded me a lot of Vast of Night that we did a review of, the indie sci-fi film.
Incredible film, and also an
Same thing,
extremely long take too.
Yeah, and you can tell that. With these indie films, they only have so much money for the special effects, so they know they can only have one scene.
Yep.
So it almost always has to be the last scene. Like Vast of Night, the last scene was finally showing the giant UFO.
Yep.
And like this scene was finally showing, and the monster it's so original. Mm-hmm. I don't know where it comes from.
Awesome.
It looked the CGI. I don't even know if it's CGI. It looks fantastic. It does. It looks so.
Especially in the first time that it's introduced when he's shooting the shotgun at night.
And it
looked awesome.
And it's so cool because all like it's not feather, but it's like tentacles.
Something, yeah.
It almost looks like spikes, like porcupine quills or something.
Right.
But they all move, when it gets scared or whatever, and it kind of furrows up. It looks so good.
The design of it was really impressive.
Yeah, I loved it. We got to talk about. I'm at least going to bring him up because one of my favorite comedians ever is in this.
We have to. I mean,
Hong
one of the greatest.
Kong, Henry Zebrowski.
One of the greatest podcasts of all time. The last podcast on the left.
Shout out. They're so good.
They're
my
so
favorite
awesome.
of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's great. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is. He's funny, too.
And you can tell it's him improvising a lot of these scenes.
Yeah.
Especially, I love the bar scene.
The beer mat scene. Oh my God.
Was he called a gorilla something?
So
it's a gorilla shot or
gorilla
something?
Gorilla
fart. No, it's a spill mat.
It was a spill mat.
It's just everything that's spilled. He's like, yeah, I got kids coming, man. He's like,
it's so gross. He's like, yeah, I can do this because I am an adult.
It's so good, though. He's so funny. He needs to be in so much more. He's in a lot of Adult Swim stuff, but he needs to be in so much. And he was in Wolf of Wall Street.
The Devil show on Adult Swim.
Oh, Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell.
Pretty Face is
I've
Going
seen
to
every
Hell,
season.
yep,
It's really funny. Yeah. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch that.
Yep.
But yeah.
And he is in Wolf of Wall Street too.
He's in Wolf of Wall Street. He plays the otter or something. I can't remember what his name is. But yeah, he had a big but yeah, he's great in this.
Yes, he is.
He's great as I like the scene when they're gonna go hunt the animal or whatever. You brought your rifle, and then it cuts immediately, and it's just him with the
he's just holding the eggs.
He's so good.
He is.
I just laugh when I see him. He's very funny looking. Yeah, very, very comical in every way. But yeah.
I want to go back to the cinematography real quick in that one shot, because that was something else that you said, like, you have to have a unique, it started out as a wide shot, but over that 7 to 9 minutes, it slowly, but it was so microscopically slow where it was just like, it just zoomed in, but it was over that 7 minute period.
It worked so well with the dialogue and what they're talking about, because it starts very loose and very they just, because this scene happens when she finally comes back after a week and no one knows where she was at,
and
he couldn't get a hold of her or anything.
Yeah.
So it starts off very them just doing small talk, but once it gets more serious and serious, it closes in. I like that. Yeah. And that goes back to the dialogue and the writing also, because for them to line up, that shot with the dialogue and everything, it had to have been written into where, okay, we want to zoom in right when you guys are getting at this point in the conversation.
Yep.
Awesome scene. Yeah, I enjoyed the entire thing. I like the flashbacks. I like that he was a hunter or whatnot, and how she hated animal heads or anything. She hated anything dead, and
then he hung it up when she was gone, and that was the first thing she brought up. Was, I noticed you hung up the elk head again.
Yeah, the fucking elk head. She hated it.
Yeah, she did.
Beautiful elk.
I would have been. Remember Valentine?
Yeah.
He named it Valentine.
What was that name? Valentine.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even realize till the very end that he owned that bar.
Yeah, he did.
I thought, man, he's being real loose with these fucking.
Well, I know, and then the
giving
employee
him shots
that he was
and exactly,
pouring.
and pouring expensive shots. I'm like, oh my god, dude. But yeah, I love the whole. It felt, it felt very Southern Gothic. His house and everything, and how they kind of give hints still how creepy and how much history goes back, because he says something at one point. He's like, yeah, this house has been in my family forever, generations. They don't even know.
Yeah,
and it's all overrun and shitty, and no one even lives in it anymore. No. But it's so that kind of gives you just enough. You don't need to know where this monster came from. I don't need to know there's some experiment gone wrong or some shit or that this is a demon or anything. I don't need to know that at all because that's not what the story was about. The story was about these two people and them getting through this crazy relationship.
This hump in their relationship,
And it's so, and the entire time you're thinking, oh, this is just a straight up romantic film. Even how it ends with him bursting into song. It's so generic.
It is. Yeah, that is generic. And I literally said that out there. I was like, are they just going to sing this whole song? But right before that song, again, and this is the common theme I feel like I'm bringing up over and over, but I really do look for this, like in film. Like, I thought they balanced everything so well at that final dinner scene between all the friends having a good time, them, making jokes, and then it turning real serious.
Yeah.
When he starts asking, "Oh, is your monster going to show up today?"
The brother.
The brother, yeah.
The sheriff.
And then he roasts him, and he's like, "What are you? You're a backwoods cop. You're not that cool." And dude, that had me laughing. And then it gets really serious again, and he starts, apologizing for the way that he's, been acting and the way he's conducting himself, and the fact that he never looked at her and what she loved, because she wanted to go try all these different types of food, go to art galleries and stuff. That wasn't his lifestyle.
She had grown up. Yeah, and she grew up in Miami, and he grew up in the backwoods of fucking Florida, and he wasn't giving. He wasn't like it wasn't like a give or take at all. She had to go live in his house. She had to go do everything that he had to do and whatnot. So it wasn't. But that dives into all these characters are so well written. Even the cop character who, when you first see him, you think, oh, that guy's going to be the douchey kind of villain character immediately. That's not how it is all. That guy is well-intentioned throughout the entire thing. Remember, he gives him breakfast. And
he wants him to be his brother.
Yeah.
That's what he brings
exactly,
up.
Yeah. So I love that none of these characters were predictable in that kind of romance way where it's like, oh, that guy's the dick that doesn't want them together, obviously. No, all of them wanted them together except for the main guy who he wanted to be together, but he never wanted to, again, commit. He never wanted to actually get a marriage or anything like that. But I love that cop was... wasn't that kind of character. And when they're at the dinner table, like you said, the conversation sounds so organic when the cop brings up UFOs.
Yep.
He's like, who's seen a UFO? And she's like, oh, I have for sure. And he's like, oh, for sure that it was an alien craft.
He goes, see?
Yeah, it's great fucking dialogue.
It is.
But, and there's a great flashback too of the flashback when Henry's character is talking about how his wife just got pregnant. Mm-hmm. And you could it's another great angle. Yep. And there's so much going on. There's so much side conversations going on. But then it does the slow zoom thing in to where the lady goes, when are you going to have finally kids? Yep. But Jeremy Garner's character immediately goes, when they come out 8 years old, so I don't have to fucking feed him or clean him or anything. But you just see the slow zoom that it fucking hurt her way more than he even realized it. Yeah. But I love those small little moments.
It was so surprising to me to go on IMDb and seeing a 5.3 out of 10 rating on this film. And the comments,
we know those people though. We talk about those people all.
They're idiots.
People that go in there thinking it's going to be a monster film.
Yeah.
And you're only going to get fucking people. Because they're so used to seeing the same formula of a film over and over again.
The Conjuring formula.
Or anything.
Or Annabelle or any of these things,
Yeah.
Not to say that those films don't have their place in film, but I mean, this is definitely a completely different take on it. And it's not a horror monster film. It is a romantic film.
Yeah, and you got to know that no film follows one set guideline.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an art.
It's not what
an
film
art
should
form.
be. Yeah.
If you want to go see a painting and saying, oh, that painting's shit only because it's not a realist painting or something. There's all these different mediums, but that's IMDb people.
Oh, dude.
It's just run of the mill. That's why nothing can get more than 7.5.
And the headline for this one says, dreadfully boring. I guess the other reviews so far are from the crew. What?
The crew
what
of
a condescending 8. Fucking...
the crew of 8 people that they probably had on there. Ridiculous. Yeah,
it is ridiculous. Because I really walked away enjoying this movie a lot. And I thought the payoff at the end was great. I thought it was brilliant. It was exactly enough to what I wanted to see to be like, oh, okay, I got my answer. The monster was real.
The monster is real. And that's awesome that it wasn't. It could be metaphorical. And they could have played it off that way. And that would have been just as good if they did it the right way. But
and that's what I thought. I thought they were going to completely leave it open-ended, and then they kind of turn it on its head, because a lot of indie films do that, where they keep it open for interpretations, or it could be an allegory for something. But This was actually concrete evidence that,
Yes,
hey,
this wanted to show you that this
the monster was 100%
and this guy's not
real.
crazy because he's going through some very heavy shit and he's compensating for what he's going through by making up this monster. Because the entire time people are like, let's talk about Abby. And he just wants to talk about this monster.
Yep.
He's like, okay, let's. But the cop, his friends are all like, what do you really want to talk about? But no, he had a legit concern.
Yeah. And if you look back
And
at
they killed his cat.
That's what I want to talk about. The cat. They did that super smart, okay? Because then that's the reason why I was thinking that the monster wasn't real, because they only showed the cat in the bag.
Yes.
So I never even knew if that cat actually got mauled or if they just found that cat dead.
Or if maybe he killed the cat and he's the monster, you know, and he's the one that's coming out every night and destroying because he's maybe drunk or maybe and it could be so much things. But yeah, I think it's just people go into films thinking they know exactly what the film's going and then being angry when they realize that, oh, it's this
something
film kind of
different.
tricked me. But I when a film can turn it on it and it's on its head or something and completely go in a different direction, I love that. Yeah. I love to not to be it, but some people, don't like to be surprised.
Some people don't like change. They don't. They don't like something different.
Yeah, they don't. So that's
just fucks with their psyche for whatever reason.
Yeah, and for some reason it makes them angry.
Yeah, it makes them real angry. Like
so angry that they didn't have a read on this that it makes them. Yeah, I don't know. It's a safety thing.
It is
where it makes them feel unsafe for not knowing exactly what's going to happen. But I can't imagine seeing this film and going out and like, I gotta write this fucking review.
I know.
Because even if you don't like monster films, I feel like you'll get the romantic element from it.
Of course.
And if you don't like romantic, then I feel like there's still enough horror element of there to keep you in for that too. Yeah.
And that's the thing that's really cool about this movie too, is it's like the premise in all of its like it's a very simple premise.
The most simple premise.
Yeah. It's a very simple premise.
What I said was the premise. And it took 4 seconds for me.
Exactly. I mean, you even go on the wiki page, like the whole, they do a plot line. The whole plot line is literally 4 sentences.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's just, and that's
but
how
it works.
all indie films are.
They're able to pull it off. And they knew, and we talked about this, and I'll bring it up one more time, but they knew that 83 minutes was the time. You didn't need to make this movie an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
That could have been awful. But dude, it was short, sweet, and to the point. That's
if you are a aspiring indie filmmaker, again, the worst thing you can do is extend your film more than it needs to be extended. I mean, because this film is perfect. 83 run. It ends right when it needs to end. I feel like, and it wraps everything up real fucking quick. But I'll go back to it. I love the surprise of the very generic romantic ending that we thought we were going to get when he's singing. And you think everything's going to be great. Right. He's finally putting all his differences. Everyone's fucking happy. They're finally going to get married. They're going to move to Miami.
Right.
He's going to fucking start. He's going to sell a bar. Mm-hmm. Then this thing comes out of fucking nowhere.
Just tackles him.
He's already in the house.
I know.
No one knows how. I love it, though.
I thought it was great.
And then he goes
And then he
stupid.
takes the elk. And
that's also
antlers.
kind of symbolism of him destroying the thing that she hated and whatnot. Yep. But man, I loved
the hell out of it.
That's the route that they ended up going. And I love that they thought it was the best way to shoot it was to show him just go fucking crazy. Because this thing has been eating away at him for.
And then the bottle of wine rolls in.
The peanut wine.
Yeah, the peanut
shitty peanut wine that he had cases of.
And he picks it up and he shows her the ring on the bottom. He goes, will you drink another fucking case with me? At the very end.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad they didn't go any farther past that to show they didn't need to show that they took the monster to the cops or anything like that.
You don't need that. It's
perfect.
Yeah, they knew exactly where to begin it and end it. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
I enjoyed this film quite a bit.
It's one of my favorite of romantic films for sure.
Well, absolutely, and I mean, hell, as it sits right now, for me, I'm not going to say this for you, but because we haven't had too many films, especially in 2020, this is on my top 10 so far.
Yeah, it was.
I really enjoyed this.
Surprisingly good, and I'll probably go back and watch The Batteries or whatever his other stuff is. Yeah. It sucks that he made one film in 2012, then it took him 8 years to come out with another. These are the filmmakers
that should be working all the time.
Giving money to. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's the kind of thing where he had to get his friends together to film this. like Henry Zabrowski and stuff. I'm pretty sure I've heard them talk about that they knew each other before he started making films. So you could just feel that he had to get like people he knew just to even finance this thing. Yeah. You can't even find a budget for it.
No, you can't. So it had to have been shoestring $650,000 or something like that.
I can't, man. That alien looks like it would take. I mean, not alien. I don't know what it is, but that monster looked like it would take a couple $100,000.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they.
But
did it.
They didn't. That was the thing too. Is you could only tell they used CGI just a little bit.
I could hardly tell. Yeah,
and then that was it.
I could hardly.
So I think a lot of it was practical effects because they even have the costume designer in this.
Yeah,
so
which is awesome.
Been a costume, a lot of it. But the battery, the synopsis, real quick for this, because this actually sounds interesting. We might want to check this out. The personalities of two former baseball players clash as they traverse the rural I can never say that word. Rural back roads of a rural. I can't say it. See, I can't say it. It's weird. Of the post-plagued New England teeming with the undead.
Oh, it's a zombie film.
It's a zombie film.
About baseball players. We kind of got a little zombie baseball action in Train to
Busan.
It turns out baseball players are the ones that are going to make it.
Uh-huh.
When you run out of ammo,
just swing a bat. A bat will do the trick, my guy. And I got
you gotta
like
hit
5
someone,
or 6 bats.
You gotta hit someone hard though. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, you do.
And it takes a lot.
You got a good swing.
Yeah, bro. But you got 8 swings and you're tired. You're winded. Oh yeah, bro. You're giving full 100% swings, and it's not like you're swinging through. You're getting some pushback on the break.
That actually makes it easier.
I don't know, man. You're getting worn out after a while.
Well,
I'll take the gun.
Give me 10 zombies, and I'll show you 10 dead zombies.
Fast zombies? No way you're killing 10 zombies.
Hell yeah. Even in this fat, out of shape body I have now.
10 zombies coming from 10 different directions. You're taking all 10 out.
Absolutely.
You have too much confidence in yourself.
I do.
Are you doing like the helicopter thing where you're just spinning in a circle?
No, it's called footwork. It's called dodging one, hitting one over the head, running away, hitting another one. You gotta work it that way. You can't just take them all on at once.
Well,
unfeasible.
But you can't line them up and be like, all right, orderly line. I'm going to take you. There's
no, that's what I'm saying. You got to zigzag through, set up, boom.
Oh, you think you have the footwork?
I got the footwork, baby. I got the footwork.
You think not only do you have the switch?
Muhammad Ali of hitting zombies.
Wow, I've never seen so much confidence in you before.
Yeah, well,
it's all coming out
Give
at once.
me a baseball bat.
I can't imagine it. I'd love to see it though.
It would be fun.
I'll just pay 10 homeless men to attack you, and let's see what.
Then I'm going to jail for the rest of it, or prison.
Well, I'll give you a wiffle ball bat, and if you even make contact with 10 heads, then I'll say, okay, you can probably.
We'll have to sign like a waiver form, though, for those 10 homeless guys.
Yeah, I doubt homeless people are signing waivers for anything. So we'll buy them a sixer or something, and we're not going to hurt them.
No, they're wiffle ball bats. Or one of those LARP swords.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if you can land 10 solid strikes before one gets to you,
all right.
I'll say this is the guy.
Well, this is we might have to do this.
Because think of the guy from Train to Busan. He was 1 in a billion. The guy that was punching people. He was that guy. Are you telling me you got the strength of that man?
Pretty close.
Well, I got nothing else to say then. Because we saw that guy one-handedly throw a person up 10 feet into the air.
He did the rock thing. Absolutely.
Well, I think that is it for After Midnight. If you have not seen it, it's
go check it out.
So nice and short, sweet. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And it's $1.99 to rent.
That's it. And if you're not in for like that was so weird too. I thought it actually was free before.
Yeah, but $1.99 and $5.99 to buy. So I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So
it was cheap and a good movie too. I enjoyed it. It was well worth $1.99 to rent.
Yeah, and if you're not really into horror and you're more into romantic, then it's perfect for you because it's not overly horror.
It's definitely not over. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're just into good movies, I'd recommend it.
Absolutely. Alrighty, well, that is our review for After Midnight. If you guys like what you've seen here and you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. If you want to check out our podcast, you can find that in audio format on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our social media pages, Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter, that's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen It Podcast? And go check out our new merch store, whatever it is.
You got it. That's a merch store.
Yeah, a merch store. You
won't find this hat though.
Yeah, that's the vintage. Old school. That's vintage hat.
This will be worth money someday.
It will be because we only have 3 of those out on the market right now.
3? So. Where's the other one?
In my room. I have 2 of them.
Oh, you have 2. Okay.
I have a beanie.
Oh, you do have a beanie. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think you have a beanie too.
I do have a beanie, so there's four. Those are rare. Those are collector's items.
Super rare. Yeah. So yeah, check that out. It'll probably be in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Mason Knight and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus. And until next time.
Bye.